Hello there. It's 8 o'clock. We still have a few people trying to register and a few people milling about, so we're going to do a little chatting first. Welcome everybody to the AAPM Radiosurgery Society sponsored course. This is not really a meeting, this is a course on stereotactic radiosurgery. And we have a few general announcements, but a lot of them are actually scrolling through, so you'll be able to see those. And I wanted to kind of tell some people about the motivation for this course. There was a stereotactic course that was held by the AAPM in the summer of 2014, and it was rather successful. I think the waiting list had over 100 people on it. So we decided to do an encore version of it. And I took the survey results from the last one, and we basically adopted those. One was that meeting was in Burlington, Vermont, which is a quaint and wonderful little place, but they basically said, hey, could you have this in a bigger city? And so Detroit is definitely a big city. And by the way, I encourage people to pay 75 cents and go on that people mover and check out this downtown area, really cool. The other thing that they recommended was that we shorten the course from 4.5 days down to 2.5 days. And so we've done that, and they wanted us to include the weekend, make things more efficient, so we've done that. The third thing that was kind of funny was, I don't know if a lot of you know, in AAPM courses it's been very common to get this red book. And well, we decided, do people really want the book? And it turns out a lot of people really wanted the book. So this course, we actually have a book. Now, full disclosure on that, yes, myself, I'm an editor of that. Actually, Bill Hendy's the editor of the series, and there's a few other editors here as well. Steve Getch is here, and several of the authors. So my resident fund also thanks you. But hopefully you'll enjoy this book. Now, there's one interesting thing about that book, the book that's being provided for this conference, and that is, if you look at most stereotactic books, they're divided into chapters by site. So there'll be a site for kidney, and a site for lung, a site for brain, a site for spine, etc. This one only has one clinical chapter. It's a big one, and it includes lots of clinical trials, summed up and in tables, etc. But most of the rest of the chapters are written by physicists. So I think that was appropriate for this particular course. We also wanted to expand the discussion and breakout sessions. On Sunday, the last session that we have are so-called breakout sessions, and that's where we've got 16 topics. I'm tempted to put in a wild card topic, but that's where you're supposed to go and sit at various tables and ask people questions, and you get a rotation for about every 15 minutes, and you can ask them, well, how do you measure that? What's the problem with small field dosimetry? What do you recommend I do in terms of imaging, etc.? Sit down, and hopefully then you can get some cards from people, find out how people have done things, have little discussions, and then you move on to the next table. So those were very successful in Vermont. We'd like to do the same thing here. So the final aspect of this was several people thought, well, how come we didn't get to go to a hospital there in Vermont? Well, they weren't set up for that. But we're very happy to be able to have so-called clinical lab rotations at Henry Ford this year. And so tomorrow, that's going to be a real exciting time. You'll be able to rotate through and see a lot of different new equipment. A lot of the vendors have set up to do little tutorials. And I think it's going to be very, very instructive. That's another time when I hope people are going to be making this a course, asking really pointed questions and trying to figure out, well, what do I want from our program? What's working best at other programs, etc.